Having actual sadness in a story is important, even if it's just a fun adventure.
Where I'm like, Mom, spoiler, they don't die, okay?
I think it's good to be in a spot where you're like, are they
gonna die? Are we doing a dying one?
So it has to be painful, even if they get out of it.
Buddy the elf, wandering by himself after his dad has yelled at him, saying he doesn't care if he's his son.
So sad.
Goofy things should have heavy moments.
Haven't seen violence inherent in the system. Help! Help! I'm being repressed, bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway! Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Do you see him repressing me? You saw it,
Welcome back to Help, Help, We're Being Repressed.
Yay.
Today, Ameera is alone in her Diet Coke because I have a bubble tea. Sips loudly.
Yep, and we're here to talk about the right kind of sad.
Yeah, because in movies and books, people try to make you sad kind of a lot.
Yeah, and they want to pull on those heartstrings.
Jinx.
Why did you finish my sentence?
I do that a lot, okay? You were kind of pausing. We're going to be going over random stuff as it occurs to us. On that topic.
The topic of random stuff?
No, on the topic of what is the right kind of sad.
Well, it's just funny. It's funny when you watch something, and it's obviously trying to be dramatic or emotional and make you feel something, and they have in no way earned that feeling. So basically, if you kill someone off, unless it's a dog, I'm not going to be sad. Like, unless you actually already got me emotionally invested in the person.
You got to work for those tears.
Yeah, you got to earn them. Like,
you can't just assume that we'll be sad because someone died. We're a little bit numb to that at this point.
Well, yeah, and actually, most people who watch things are just gonna not react.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
if you kill somebody off and we don't know them and we don't care about them, it's like it's a fictional character.
Yeah.
He's dead. Like,
boo-hoo, the actor's fine.
Who gives a singular rip, you know? But there definitely are times where there is more emotional impact. It's a question of what creates
There are times where the theater is just sobbing.
Everyone's so sad.
And then, of course, on another note, there is that question of what is effective sadness, but then on the other is what is good sadness?
Yeah, what's the correct amount? Because there's also just when you
correct kind. Ooh.
Correct kind, yeah. There are tragedies that you can read or watch, and it's like, okay, can you have good, just straight up tragedy? Where it's not, there's no happy ending, there's no, wedding at the end of the story. Mm-hmm. Is that a thing?
They died.
Yeah, and if there are good tragedies, what distinguishes them from the bad ones? Mm-hmm. What's your favorite tragic thing? I'm going to make you start. I'm putting it back on you. I'm trying to remember sad things, other than Homeward Bound, which is tragic.
Talk about effective and good sadness.
Okay, so this is one.
You know what? Let's start on this one.
Yes, your kids should watch if they have not.
We had it on VHS.
We did because we're so old. A full 20 years of age.
Yeah, obviously it's not one of those ones that it's like, wow, so amazingly convincingly done with all the special effects. But do you have any idea how it impacted mini Lucia and Ameera?
Yeah, okay, to be fair, I have not watched it in a while. Because I'm not 6.
We're speaking off the memories.
Yes. So if you show it to your children, you're like, wow, this is the voiceovers for the puppies, because it is, okay.
Because it's just voiceover over animals, which I prefer over, the CGI fake animals.
Oh yeah,
I'm
much
like,
better.
Give me a real animal with like a funny voiceover. That's so much funnier.
Yeah. So it's a voiceover, these dogs, 2 dogs.
2 dogs and a cat.
And a cat. Their family moves.
They're moving to the city, and they don't have the space. So the parents, sit down their kids, because each kid owns one of the pets.
The girl owns the cat,
naturally.
Obviously.
Gender stereotypes. Anywho.
Evil.
Anywho, they sit down the kids, and they're like, what would be best for the animals?
Do they want to be at the farm?
Do they really want to be stuck in our tiny little space in the city? Or wouldn't they be so much happier if we give them to this farm? Mm-hmm. And so they bring the animals to the farm. And naturally, the cat and the puppy dog are having a riot. And the old dog, Shadow, the golden retriever, is the only one paying attention to what's going on. And his owner tells him to stay. And then they drive off.
And he's just sitting there.
And he's just sitting there being like, I'm staying. And, as a proud owner of 4 dogs plus 1 in heaven, because dogs do go to heaven. Thank you very much. All dogs go to heaven, actually.
No.
I was quoting. It's a movie. Okay.
Just making sure you're factually correct. Not all dogs. Some.
Most.
Many
Many
puppies.
Many puppies are so good.
Well, heaven wouldn't be heaven without the puppies.
They're evidence of an unfallen world. We're dog people, in case you couldn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho's, Shadow is staying like a good boy. And the whole thing is, the pets, they don't understand why they got left. So they go on a quest to find their owners and reunite. So it's a little pet excursion
pet
across
adventure.
the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the funny voiceover as they try to find their people
Your
again.
little kids, I'm guessing especially your little daughters, will like this movie.
Yes, because dogs and cats. And even though it's the dogs and cats, for little kids, it has some genuinely sad moments.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's when you talk about story structure, there has to be the dark night of the soul or like an actual natural arc of a plot.
And if you don't, back it up a sec.
Kind of explain what that is.
Yeah, so in movies, there's something called the Save the Cat beat sheet. There's a book about it. I enjoyed it very much. You could check it out if you're interested in such things. It makes watching movies kind of fun.
Yeah,
if you like the over analyzing. I hit the table again. I'm sorry.
Not forgiven.
Anywho, this book goes over the 15 beats of a movie. And obviously, not every single movie does the exact 15 beats, but a lot of them do, and a lot of the best ones do.
Yeah.
And even if you're not following the 15 beat structure perfectly, there are a couple that you have to have.
Yeah, important. And you might not call them the exact same thing as this.
Yeah, they might be under a different
them.
name. But if you don't have these, you do not have a good movie.
They're just important story elements.
Mm-hmm. That are going to be in each thing. So when I tell people about this and I go what are the most important ones? One of the ones I mentioned is The Dark Night of the Soul. You really don't have a great movie without A Dark Night of the Soul.
Mm-hmm. It's the lowest point, right? When you think
right
all
before
is
the
lost.
finale. All is lost. And it's important to have this dark moment because it is the darkness before the dawn.
Mm-hmm. Makes the dawn more.
Yeah, so you're
important.
coming into the finale, to the victory, the triumph, all of that. And if you want that to be powerful, you need the Dark Night of the Soul to hit, and hit hard. I think the best Dark Night of the Souls hurt your feelings a little bit every time you watch it.
Yeah, so when you're rewatching it, you know it's coming,
and you're dreading
I don't
it.
want to. I don't experience this again.
Yeah, so you need it even in a kids movie. Where kids don't need everything to be as gnarly. You need a Dark Night of the Soul that hits because that is what gets you into the beautiful success.
Yeah.
So, How to Train Your Dragon is, of course, Toothless comes to save Hiccup and gets captured, and Stoic completely rejects Hiccup as not his son and has got the dragon in chains and is off to kill the dragons and probably die because he can't handle that. Mm-hmm. So every time you watch it, it's just a little it's just the poor babies.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be sad. And it is genuinely sad.
If you do it correctly.
If you do it right.
Because one thing you can say is if you don't set up correctly before the Dark Night of the Soul, it's not going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
If you don't care about the characters, if you don't
if
throughout the entire rest of the story, make us have affection for them, make us want them to succeed, then we're not going to care if they fail, which means when they succeed finally in the end, they overcome the Dark Night of the Soul, it's going to be whatever.
Yeah. So if the Dark Night is not dark enough, then the success is whatever. But then if you did not build affection in your audience for your characters, then the Dark Night will never be dark enough because nobody cares.
I think especially when you're building up that type of Dark Night, don't just use the cliche. Mm-hmm. So it's okay, he dies or whatever.
Yeah.
It's sometimes death does not have as much of an emotional impact, actually, than other things that could have happened.
Well, yeah, that can be an example of when you did not build right. No matter how dark you make the action, nobody cares.
Right.
So.
But Homeward Bound.
Despite being a goofy little thing that we should rewatch. Though, where can you watch this now?
I don't know.
Because we did have it on a VHS, so little box TV memories.
Yeah. I liked puppies, so it's great fun.
The Dark Night of the Soul was the old dog spoiler. But not like the little kids.
Alert.
Not like the little kids
Yeah,
are
'cause
listening, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're Jerome Newman. Hi. You're not that little anymore. He said he did.
Aw, cute.
Anywho.
Cousin somehow related.
Cousins is cousins.
Yeah.
Anywho, old dog might not make it back. He's fallen in the ditch. He's gotten hurt. And he tells the younger pets to go on without him.
So sad.
It's so sad. And so, like, he's just made it through this whole adventure, and you've watched him struggle and be the mature one in the group.
Yeah. Like, these little girls watching it had grown great affection for...
You know what? This is good masculinity.
for this old golden retriever.
Who's being the level-headed one, being the smart one, being the most determined and loyal and undistracted, and then he falls and he might not make it back.
So sad.
So sad. I feel like every time I see a clip of that, I'm like, okay.
Foreshadow.
But, and so, yeah, so all the kids...
You hit the table.
All the kids watch their pets come home, and they're so excited to see Chance, the other puppy. I don't remember the cat's name. And then...
Something like Stacy. I don't know.
Something like that. And then...
Probably not
the
Stacey.
oldest boy is just standing, like, mine's not here.
Winning his puppy.
And then, you know, he limps over the hill and he's made it out and we're all like, he's fine. He's okay. But it's just funny to have, like, such a goofy little kids movie that really hits the emotional beats. Mm-hmm. They do a very good job building up the character, building up, like, into this character that you really want to see succeed. And you're really rooting for them. So seeing them stumble is, like, actually sad. And sad in a good way. Like, it was well built, well put together.
What do you think is a more modern movie that has the technical emotional beat but doesn't hit right? I'm trying to think of something other.
Wild Robot.
Wild Robot?
Wild Robot is one that they,
so
like...
that came out really recently, right?
I thought of a brand new one. I think it's like a year old or something. Okay, it might be 2 at this point. I'm not sure.
I think it's a year.
It's pretty.
It is. The art is stunning.
But all the sad beats are so incredibly unconvincing. Yeah. So it hits beats, but you're sitting there being like, so, why do I care?
Mm-hmm. Make me care.
Make me care. That's your job. It's not my job to cry every time you threaten death. It's your job to make me care. Yeah. But I'm trying to think of, like, the technical reasons why I just didn't care. Other than it, you know, feeling really unrealistic we were trying to make all the predators and prey be friends on an island. Yeah, it's like someone's gonna eat somebody at some point. Like, what do you want the bear to do? Live off? Starve? Starve?
Hibernate eternally.
That's the funny thing. In all these equality things, you're just killing off the predator. And I know, you know, I mean the bears.
That's wild out of context.
I know, don't clip that. I just mean, like,
They're gonna clip that.
It's just funny because people do have that variety. And when you try to force equality, you're always tearing down someone. Yeah. So when you're watching an animal metaphor for it, it's just these big, strong animals that are going to starve, who are going to die, who are like, because...
But we're not going to talk about that because it's metaphorical and it doesn't matter.
Anywho. But...
Wait, I think
part of it was the unconvincingness.
Sure. Yeah, okay, part of it was that. I think part of it was the fact that the character development in the story didn't really occur naturally.
No, it's very forced.
Especially, like, so you have the fox character, right? Mm-hmm. Immediately just hit all of the boxes of stereotypical fox. And then immediately just trauma dumped. Mm-hmm. And
with no actual, like, growth and change.
So it was entirely...
Just, did you know that everyone's been mean to me?
Yeah, it was entirely telling no show. So it's like, I don't actually know this character. You told me what he was, and I don't really believe you. Yeah. And so when you have all the characters like that, where everything's just...
Well, also 0 side characters were developed.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have this devastating moment where Winter has arrived and she's putting her own sort of life on the line, the robot is, to save all the animals from the snow. And you're like, actually, 99.9% of these characters haven't had a single line. Some of them have made it onto the screen. Like, you just... No affection has been created whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So you're just kind of like, I mean, it's cool.
I didn't really care about the robot either. So I think the main characters weren't realistic. I mean, you say realistic, but I'm like, it's a robot and a fox. And
Well,
a
see, this is the thing.
retarded
This is
duck.
the thing that annoys me, is when you attack the realism of something that is fantasy or animated or whatever. I can hear the choruses in my head of like, it's actually fiction. It's actually made up. So it doesn't
Still has to be real.
It doesn't have to be realistic. It's literally fantasy. And the thing is, yeah, it doesn't have to literally happen in the real world, but it has to resonate with reality. The laws of cause and effect should still apply.
Mm-hmm.
Growth should still be a thing. Like, there's all these ways in which it has to resonate with reality. And that's the same with the emotional beats, especially the sad ones. That you're like, it has to reflect real life in some way. So, Spider-Man, No Way Home. You physically can't make me feel sad about the fact that the villains are going to go back to their deserved deaths.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you go, oh no, death is bad. I'm like, actually, I support the capital punishment of serial killers. Just hot take.
Wild.
Wild take. So you see them going like, "Ugh, see, don't you understand? Death is bad. Killing is
Actually,
bad."
No
And I'm
Way
like,
Home, I think, is a really good example because you
of
have
bad emotional beats.
bad emotional beats where you're like, you have Spider-Man, this Tom Holland character, right? Spadooter Man. Just want to save these villains. It's very emotional. It's not rational at all.
Yeah, if
It's like,
you
no, we have to save him. And
if you ever have a main character, like, strive to save the guilty at the expense of the innocents, that has to have been a bad decision that is going to bite them in the rear and they're going to learn from it.
Yeah.
Like, that's never supposed to be the correct morality.
But it was very emotional. And then you also get the whole drama at the end.
He's crying in the
Where
rain,
his-
covered in blood,
He's
you know?
crying in the rain, covered in blood.
You should feel sad.
But then his friends forget about him or whatever. Sorry, spoilers. Massive. I don't.
If you didn't know about that by now, that's your bad.
Yeah. But his friends forget about him. And I was sitting there being like, you didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if...
None of that made sense. So that's another thing that hurts sad beats, is if it was avoidable.
Exactly.
Unless
if you didn't have to do it.
Unless the point of the sad thing was that it was avoidable.
Which is also a
That
different
is
type.
Yeah, that is a totally different type of sad. When it's, I made the decision, now I'm facing the consequences of my decision. It didn't have to be that way. But it's condemning of the original decision.
Yeah.
Versus it was completely 100% avoidable at every point. And
But I chose to do it anyways.
And we're pretending that it wasn't bad decisions.
That's my pet peeve about self-sacrifice scenarios. In any
That's a new type of lazy sad.
lazy sad.
Is an unnecessary self-sacrifice.
Unnecessary self-sacrifices where sometimes it just makes the situation worse, actually.
Mm-hmm. Kelsier.
You talked about that at some
Yeah.
point. But it's just having someone kill themselves off and die for other people doesn't make me sad if he didn't have to do it and if it didn't help anybody.
Yep. Or if he was suicidal.
Okay, so that's an example, Logan, right?
Logan. Lots of
So
people
that's-
liked it. Lots of people shouldn't.
Lots of people liked it. I enjoyed a lot of the movie,
Yeah,
actually.
no, I will have to give props. There was a lot of fun parts.
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the movie. However, you have this character, Wolverine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making that up.
I can't believe you were, like, hesitating over that.
Yeah, I just didn't want to sound like an idiot, so I made myself sound like an idiot.
She's not a superhero girly, people.
No, I'm not. But you have his character who's very suicidal for the entire movie, right?
Yeah, you're introduced to him incredibly
He
suicidal,
wants to
depressed,
die.
desperately wants to die.
The end of the movie, which I shall tell you now, he dies.
In a very, very, very temporary solution.
Yes,
It's going to last 3 minutes.
Yes, it solves actually nothing.
Only the most immediate
so I'm
problem.
like, if you have a character, I think you could do a progression with a character who is suicidal, learns to want to live, and then has to die for other people.
Yeah, that could work.
I don't think that's always going to be bad. However, when you have a suicidal character who then dies
Yeah, I'm like, people, if you...
to, like, save other people,
Yeah, if you want to die,
you're not sacrificing
the
anything.
sacrifice is choosing to live. So if...
Exactly.
See, I really liked the idea behind Logan, and like we said, we enjoyed large swaths of it.
I wouldn't say don't watch it necessarily.
Yeah, no, it's probably worth watching. Just know that the ending's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's because the idea is
There's also
Wolverine,
like that drama with the cross.
super
you know?
suicidal, Yeah, the Wolverine super suicidal. It's all just really awful. What's his faith? Faith. What's his faith? I'm sorry, I can't talk.
I can do it for you.
What's his face? The guy in the wheelchair who has telekinetic powers is getting dementia. I promise I used to know his name. And so that's really devastating. So you're seeing the age and the pain on these characters.
Yeah. I don't think that was badly set up, actually.
Wolverine's, yeah, no, that's the part I like. Enter Wolverine's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not he had a kid, but yes, they've tried to recreate Wolverine. And so this little girl is going into the life that he so hates and wants to escape.
Yeah.
So they're saddled up, ready to deal with this. And that's a great idea because something that I find really heroic is when people's goal is, I hope you don't live like I did. So instead of taking, genuine suffering and wishing it upon other people or not caring about other people because you had to go through it, like the idea of I will make a better life for the people who came after me is really noble. So he comes to this girl who's entering the same life as him. I'm like, this is a good start.
You could have had a really good father-daughter
So
dynamic
what
going
should
on.
have happened is
he makes
a genuinely real sacrifice.
Yeah.
Which would be, I'm living for her.
Yeah.
I'm staying with her. I'm going to keep going through
Fight for
pain
her.
so that she doesn't. And that is genuine sacrifice. And I do think that two things that are used the most for cheap emotions is one, killing is wrong. Period. And people can try to really bulk up the emotions of that.
I'm sorry. I'm a fan of David and Samson and
and there's
all those judges. So
yeah,
you're not really going to get me on that one.
You're not going to get us on board with don't kill the villains. Don't you feel bad? Don't you know that makes you just like them?
No, I'm like, kill the villain. Immediately kill the villain.
I know my rights. I got guns. I got two. As a family, we have much more.
Yeah.
When I like to lore drop for people occasionally with no context. And one I've pulled when I'm in more blue areas is everyone in my family gets a gun when they turn 12. Flex. Okay.
Not a big gun, just like a 22, little baby rifle.
You get the big ones later. Anywho. So the one cheap emotional move is killing is wrong. Don't you feel bad killing? Don't you you don't want to be just like them when you're saving somebody? A little different. And then the other one is unnecessary self-sacrifice.
Or just unnecessary death.
Yeah. Well, it's most frequently, I think, done as self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
Is the noble person taking it upon themselves. And the thing is,
I could say
it has to do something. Ooh, good type of sad?
Some good type.
And then some
not as good.
Start with the good one. I know which is which, but other people need to be informed.
What were we talking about before I said that, though?
Well, self-sacrifice? Oh, Logan, yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't love that end. We thought...
Slurps, okay.
We thought it'd be better for him to live for other people. And people forget... It's actually what I think we talked about. I don't know if... The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
Yeah.
Where you have...
Good sad.
Very good sad.
But we'll get to the tragedies in a minute.
Yeah, okay, so I'll shut up about
that. We'll
go
hit the
back
tragedy.
to whatever I just mentioned. The Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm.
Really on track here. Where you have at the beginning of the movie, right? You have the kid die. And I really liked the way they did it with the audio, the silence behind the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And that was genuinely sad. Right?
Yep.
And it's funny because they made that sad.
Very masterfully done.
Yeah.
With editing and cinematography type stuff, but it's also just
But it also
good
proved,
story-wise.
Yes, that you could make something sad without a lot of time for character development.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, just because a kid dies doesn't make it sad.
Yep.
But the way they set it up, especially the older sister giving the younger brother the toy,
mm-hmm.
makes it that much more devastating because it's her fault in a different way.
Yeah. Well, another beat from the beat sheet is Save the Cat.
Mm-hmm.
And Save the Cat is something that happens in the first, 5 minutes, normally, of a movie. And it is an action or, moment that makes you like the main character or sympathize with the main character, shows that they're a good person or that they're at least redeemable. So even if you're doing an anti-hero type thing, you need that moment for everybody on the audience to like them, to get on their side. And the idea is just the fact that everything is established at the beginning. Everything. You're not really going to be able to change people's minds about characters halfway through.
It's one of the things I liked about F1 is the immediate establishment of character.
Yep. So it's like, obviously a character can grow through the movie, but you're not going to change the audience's feelings about them after the first 10 minutes, really, for the most part. There are exceptions, don't get me wrong. But so much of your tone, and it's different in shows, but so much of the tone of the movie is just immediately established. So sometimes if you're sitting through a movie and you're like, I just don't quite get why I don't care about the main guy.
Where you're trying to figure it out.
Look back at the Save the Cat.
Yeah.
Did it happen? Was it good? And I'll give like a couple examples. So it's called the Save the Cat because, you know, frequently they save a cat. Sorry, I'm like panting a wee bit. I don't know why.
You're just dying over there.
Yeah, it happens. I'm asthmatic, okay. Anywho, an example where they explicitly save the cat is Mr. Incredible in The Incredibles. And they do it comedically, right? So he's like shaking the tree, trying to get the cat off. While the old lady is like, oh, and like glancing at the car coming and the thieves and so he like thwacks the cat off and like flings the tree
but he
over
takes
in front
the
of
time to
and
save
so
the cat.
so he's annoyed and he's got better things to do, but he's saving the cat first.
Yeah.
Like, so he, even though he has growth still yet to happen, you got this little like likable thing. And it doesn't have to be necessarily like a good deed. It just has to be something
likable.
Something likable, something redeemable. Like, I hold that the Barbie movie gave it to the wrong character. And the people really just blame misogyny. Like, yeah, I'm talking about, you know, other people, not you guys. You're smart. Blame
bouncing around right now.
I promise I'm on topic. Blame misogyny for the fact that the Barbie movie led to the insane success of Ken, where Ken got so much attention and Ryan Gosling was appointed was nominated for awards and like all this, and people are like, oh my gosh, you're proving the point in the movie. I love my little like other people voices. Like, oh my gosh, you like, see, they're all sexist.
Is that your feminist voice?
Yeah. Anywho, she looks annoyed. And like, oh my gosh, they're so sexist. And the thing is it sexist or was Ken the best part of the movie? But more specifically, at the very beginning, Barbie is the worst, is not given any kind of save the cat at all. None. Instead, in the first 5 minutes, Ken gets a kind of moment of vulnerability where he wants to stay with her and she is just a snotwad. And poor Ken is like, okay. And goes up, and we start the movie. We kick it off with, oh, Ken. And the rest of the movie, everybody's like, Ken, I believe in you, buddy. So
it was hard not to cheer for him when he was learning about the patriarchy.
You're like, you go.
Like, I don't know why this is just like way more fun.
Way more fun. But so they blame feminism, but they gave Ken the save the cat. So those first 5 minutes are so formative. And so with The Quiet Place, you've got barely any time to make you care. And they do a great job of like, there's a little kid playing around. He wants a toy. And he's like demonstrating little like personality. And then his sister's giving it to him. I'm like,
with the smile.
So like you have these little moments of character in him just walking around the store and playing with the thing and grabbing the batteries and like, and then it's like, and gone. But they did not go, see, look, child. Now be sad, child is dead. They were like,
so sad. It's like, oh, well, technically in real life, if a child died, yes, it is sad. I'm not that terrible of a person.
I believe
it would not be sad.
I believe it was like our great-grandfather Greensides who would always go, don't worry, the cameraman will save them. People got worried during a movie. And yeah, we all know it's fake. So you just go like, okay, unless you convince me that that's a real person.
Yeah, so that's why the character has to be very real for us to
And it has to be real fast.
So I thought the beginning of that movie was great.
Yeah, and that was good sad. It was very establishing of what's going on.
But later in the movie, when you have the dad, when the kids are in danger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he does this big self-sacrifice.
Big, like, sign language, I love you, I've always loved you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for one, why are you taking so long?
Yes, that,
I'm like,
for one.
Your kids are about to die.
It felt like a very dramatic moment. And here's the thing, I did enjoy the movie. I liked the movie.
This did not destroy the movie. This is just a comparison between the two sads. One was sadder.
It was not as sad. And it is sad. But I think the melodrama of it, whereas exaggerated.
Taking all his time, the slow-mo sign language, the, like, guttural scream. Like, you couldn't get his attention. But also the temporary solution.
Yes, that was one of the bigger things. Where I'm like, so you saved them.
I'm like, and fight it. Pick up your weapon, my dude.
Yes. That's exactly it. Where I'm like, if you died died fighting it, that would have been much more reasonable in my mind.
Than just fully giving up for the temporary solution.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so, like, you're giving them a minute.
Yep, and this is not the only monster here,
Your wife just had a child.
Yep.
You're leaving your children.
She's bleeding and holding a newborn.
And your wife. And I get that he saved them. But I'm like,
But bro didn't even try.
Right? Like, come on.
So we sit there and we go, like, we enjoy this movie, but seriously?
And then I'm like, okay, so it was super successful. Now you're going to have a sequel. And now you don't get to be in it. Because you killed yourself. I mean, he still was in it in the flashbacks.
Yeah, he gave himself a flashback. That's cool, John. We're okay with that. It was a bit long. I'm going to be real. A bit long of a flashback, but I didn't mind.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, so I liked the first sad. The second sad, it was still sad.
But it just was like...
But it was like, okay, there's something off here. And I think it's so temporary. And temporary. You can't help but think, like, what about your family? Mm-hmm. Like, you are leaving them. And this is a terrible situation to be in.
Pick up the axe.
Pick up the axe, fight. And you might still die.
But at least you'll be a man.
But at least, yeah, it's like, okay, I just think it was not the best option.
Yeah, so 2 sads. One good sad, one weaker sad.
One, like, it was still sad. Okay, it was, I still liked the character. I liked the guy.
I'm not crying.
I liked the
little kid. I go like, oh. The dad dies. I go like,
the little kid was more like,
like, no way they just did that.
Oh, good start.
I was like, nice. I don't know about you guys, but I
was a bad reaction to a child dying.
No, but I really enjoy other people reacting strongly to movies.
Especially if you show it to them.
Yeah, if I show someone a movie and they cry, I'm like, nailed it.
I got you emotionally invested.
You take full credit. Okay, but
it wasn't the writing or the directing or the acting. No, it was me.
It was me.
I turned it on. I made you weep.
I made the purchase on Amazon Prime. And so I caused Steve's tears.
I think The Quiet Place is a good example.
Yeah, of a little weaker sad and a good sad.
Yeah, and I still like the movie.
I'd like to do a little bit of a comparison. We've done some comparisons, but not on this specifically, of older kids' movie sads. I liked calling them sads.
So sad.
New movie sads. Because one thing that I found in the more recent, because I heard someone say that the therapy generations are making movies now. And I think that shows. Because the way that they over-explain the sad.
It's like, let's go into,
Yeah, it feels like being gentle parented by a movie. It's like, I know you got big feelings, okay? Like, let's talk about do you want to talk about your big feelings?
No.
You know what? We call that anxiety.
I'm a cold
That's a big
northern
word.
Girl,
can you do?
So absolutely not. We don't.
Yeah,
speak.
I'm like, I don't feel. I don't feel Alfred. I'm Batman.
Yes.
I don't feel anything emotionally except for rage.
Also, your kids should watch the Lego Movie and the Lego Batman.
The Lego Batman has no successful big sads whatsoever. However, it's hilarious. But it's hilarious. It's so funny.
Extremely quotable. So on that side note, that's very funny stuff. Continue talking about your sads.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the new movies are so explainy. Like, I mean, Inside Out 2, it literally is, let's talk through anxiety together.
Okay, and neither of us watched this.
I've seen parts of it. And I've talked to people it's their literal favorite movie. But I'm just saying, it's literally like, no villain, just let's work through our big feelings. And we're going to put all the names on it. Like, we're going to be working through it specifically with labels. Similarly, all the mommy trauma ones. Mama trauma. It's still a bad thing to say. Mama trauma. All the mama trauma films. So like in context. I'm like, do we really
That
need
might be my new favorite phrase.
mommy trauma?
Okay, sorry. Get the hair out of my mouth.
Anywho, I say that too much.
Yeah.
But how do I segue from crying and laughing? Back on the subject of mommy trauma. But it's just the way that it over-explains is insane. So, like, turning red.
Well, everything means a label nowadays, don't you know?
Yeah, turning red is just it's just straight up telling you what you're supposed to feel the entire time. Like, if you watch it.
And we're contrarians,
and
so that's the best
way to not get me to feel something.
To make us not
tell
feel
me
it.
how I should feel. But the thing is,
Immediate
you're
rejection.
supposed to show people how to feel. Because
No, you're supposed to make them feel.
Fair enough. Some of the old
Or at least
Pixar,
try.
Disney, DreamWorks, what they're doing with their big sads is they're teaching children about emotions, and they generally are.
Yeah.
Like,
How you react.
so it's like,
to
how does a
sadness.
character that you aspire to be like, and I do prefer this, this is a big difference between old movies and new movies, is a lot of old movies, the characters are people to aspire to be like, you know, by the end of their growth. And a lot of the new ones, it's like, isn't this person just like you?
I don't want to watch anything with
Yeah,
someone
which
just
is-
like me. I'm sorry.
And so, like, everybody's dumbed down so that you can see yourself in them, which is quite rude. But the old
Like,
ones,
ugh,
the
you
old
think so
ones,
poorly
there are
of me?
characters that you aspire to be like, and they are showing you how to persevere
yeah.
through hardship. So it's like you watch The Incredibles. Obviously, like I said, there's growth in the characters, so it's not like they're, you know, role models the entire time.
Yeah,
but then
they're
you
not
get
just stagnant,
to
though.
The Dark Knight, which is a good Dark Knight. Everything's rough. And then you watch them get out. You watch them stand up. You watch them deal with it. And you learn how to deal with hardships
Yeah, you
as,
fight back.
as a mini-me. You go like, this is how I do it. And it genuinely helps. Like it feels cheesy, but it's like, it was a really effective thing for me as a kid, or even now, really, to be like, who do you want to be in the story? And you've got these patterns of like, I want to be like that. And then the new ones, it's just telling you. So it's like, this is generational trauma, and your mom is actually being like this to you because she has a bad relationship with her mother. And if only you would comfort your mom to be herself, and like, then she'll comfort you to be yourself, and we can all be self-actualized. And
I
like,
don't
that's turning
like
red, by the way.
this at all.
Ameera's like, don't be yourself.
No. I'm the worst. Stop.
Yeah, stop it.
Be a better...
Be a better you,
Person.
my gosh.
No, not a better you, a better person. You suck.
Don't listen to her. She's being mean. Anywho, I said it again. Turning red is very
I'll
much
start
that.
counting.
Encanto is very much that, where it's just like explaining. It's like, don't you see how you feel devalued in this situation, and you're putting too much pressure on this sister, and you're putting too much pressure on this sister, and this sister is like feeling like she can't speak out about her desires, and I'm like, and you're telling me all of this, and I'm just like,
Stop telling me to be sad.
Luca. That was the one with the little sea monsters and no problems. That one is also very explainy. It's all about how you need to like silence the doubting voice in your head. You say Silencio Bruno, and like, you know,
Sometimes that voice has a point.
the voice frequently has a point. Listen to the voice.
Not always.
Well, listen to the second voice.
No.
You know,
So
that's
if
what
you-
Terry
if you-
Pratchett says.
Yes, Terry Pratchett's the best. He thinks he's described something called second thoughts,
No, first sight and second thoughts is the duo.
right? Where you like react, and then you have like the tiny voice being like,
Hold up.
"No,
No, don't do that.
don't do that. Think again."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So yeah, his first sight is see what's actually there, not what you think is there, and his second thoughts are the questioning of like, do we really want to be like this?
yeah.
And sometimes it's valid.
But
But yeah,
yeah.
so all these new ones are just so explainy of the big feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be
Or
I'm not
often
watching
just
TV
lazy,
for therapy.
lazy
Yeah,
with the emotions.
yeah, lazy with the emotions, relying on tropes, relying on things that people already have feelings about,
Yes.
over-explaining because they don't know how to show, not tell. And I feel like I had another insult, but it does not occur to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it's just... The new sads are just not... They don't hit the same, to me at least.
No. But yeah, I think having actual sadness in a story is important.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's just like even if it's just a fun adventure and that kind of thing. It's still, what takes a fun adventure from like a meh
From like
to
a bada
it's actually
to
a
like
good
a
story.
classic.
To a classic is often, I think,
The sads.
the sads. All the sad bits.
All the sads.
The parts that make you care.
Yep. Where
Yeah.
because if you really want to feel like along for the ride with a character, it needs to be a roller coaster.
Yeah. I think it's good when you sometimes don't know how they're going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're watching
I love watching a movie with Mari, and she's like, how? How do they get out of it?
Mom too. She's
Yeah.
like, oh no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And I'm like,
So-
Mom, spoiler, they don't die, okay?
Yeah, but so
Sometimes
they
do.
I think it's good to be in a spot where you're like, are they
Gonna die? Are we
they gonna
doing
do it?
Are we doing a dying
is
one?
this, yeah, it's like, is this gonna be sad? Like I want to not fully just know like, oh, it's about to do this.
Yeah.
And I still can love a good trope.
But
I can enjoy a good trope.
truth, especially if it's well done.
But sometimes, yeah, you don't want to know like, oh, well, obviously
They'll be fine. My
they'll
gosh.
be fine.
Get over it.
And so it has to be painful even if they get out of it.
Mm-hmm. It has to have hurt.
Yeah, it has to be a bad experience all around.
Buddy the elf wandering by himself after his dad is yelled at him saying he doesn't care if he's his son.
So sad.
I'm like, goofy things should have heavy moments. It's very similar to when we were talking about villains. When I was talking about how darkness exists and kids see the darkness, kids see the dragons, and you're teaching them that dragons can be killed. Similarly, kids experience all sorts of big feelings.
Oh yeah.
All the time. Sometimes they were insufficient Cheerios.
Especially kids like you.
Sometimes your sister hit you in the head with a block.
Plead the fifth.
And like, so kids experience sad. They're very familiar with sad. And so
One
that
of the
makes
stronger
it,
emotions.
yeah, it's a very strong emotion in a toddler. Kids at any age, really.
Yeah.
And they need to see how it's dealt with.
Yeah.
They need to see it overcome. They need to see it handled maturely.
And obviously
Have
one
you
of the ways
seen an adult who doesn't know how to handle big sads?
Oh my gosh.
It's
yes.
rough.
But that's actually what I was going to say is one of the ways you do that is just by dealing with sadness yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then your kids see how you react to hard times.
Yeah, because this is the thing is you cannot explain to a child what is good in this world and what is good behavior because monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, they're just going to copy.
Yeah, so they're copying you, that's for sure. But they're also copying what you're feeding them.
Yeah, in the media that they consume.
Sometimes you have to give them a pep talk that they shouldn't want to be the villain, no
Yeah.
matter how cool Tai Lung is.
He's pretty cool.
Pretty good cat right there. But monkey see, monkey do.
Another good one with a low point.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. Excellent movies.
Both of them had stellar Dark Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, just think back to being a kid and going through that Dark Night and the absolute hype of the finale.
Right.
When you're coming out of that seemed like it was never going to be okay
I
again.
think I might like number 2 better. Which
I'm
is
really on the fence. It's hard.
Is really rare.
One of the only sequels that I'm like absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Some sequels are fine.
But that's
is
actually
gold.
kind of explicit. So you might compare it to modern movies if you want to, like the difference. Because it's literally talking about reaching inner peace
Mm-hmm.
and dealing with your sorrow. So,
However, it does it a little differently.
well, I think it does, but like how?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. My
Keep
gosh.
talking.
So
Talk too
when
slow.
I say
Gosh.
when I say show don't tell, I'm not talking about not being allowed to say it at all. But what you want to do is you want to have your key phrases and your demonstration.
Mhm.
So you can't just be like, this is my therapy session, and we're doing a little bit of splaining of like, don't tell me the whole story.
No.
give me the keywords, the jumping off point, and then show me. So that one, the theme is inner peace. And so you have this kind of repeating phrase that you hear. No, they don't. Wounds heal. Oh, yeah. What do scars do? Fade, I guess?
Yes.
I don't care what. Sorry. Okay, we should stop. I can quote most movies in whole scenes. Most that I've seen, at least. Anywho. So you have a phrase, inner peace. And you don't know what it means yet. You know that it means cool dancing by Master Shifu and being able to carry a water droplet, but you don't know what it means.
No.
So you have a repeating phrase, inner peace, inner peace, inner peace, as he's kind of looking for it and not finding it. And then you finally see what inner peace is about when he faces his scars.
Yeah, you don't just write it out.
Yeah, you don't.
It's not in the dialogue.
It's not in the dialogue. It's a repeating phrase that you finally see. And it just opens up. And you see him facing everything. And you see him coming out calm and ready to fight.
Yeah.
And then you have the little, like, minor explanation afterwards with humor as he talks to Shen. Where he's like, you can't be controlled by the past. Like, you have to let go of it. No matter how bad it was. And so it concludes.
But it's still not like, I went through these 8 steps.
Yeah, it includes. It concludes with the little explanation.
Yeah.
But what it did was it demonstrated it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's a little bit different. And I think that's one of the best ways of doing it.
Okay.
So, How to Train Your Dragon did it more subtly than Kung Fu Panda. So did actually Kung Fu Panda 1. I really do think it was very, very well done in Kung Fu Panda 2. But there are some that do it a little sneakier.
I don't think explanation is always bad.
Yeah. But explanation, it depends on the message, how necessary it is. But that kind of quiet theme repetition is one of my favorite ways to lead into that moment and that lesson. So the inner peace, inner peace, inner peace. The How to Train Your Dragon, it was all of you. The, like, stop being all of you. I want to be like you guys. Like, I'm the only one. Like, and you have this little desire to be something he's not. And something he can't be that's kind of just repeated until he reaches the conclusion and he's completely secure in himself and ready to tackle the final battle. Prompted by his conversation with Astrid. Mm-hmm. Where he was like, I am nothing like you guys. I'm probably the only Viking who can't. And she's like, but you're the only Viking to be able to. They're the first to ride. You're the first to do this thing. And he's ready to go off and actually be his own best version instead of the something else he always wanted to be. And Kung Fu Panda 1 does almost the same thing. Where he spends the whole time wanting to be someone he's not. And then he becomes the best version of himself. So those ones are simple enough that you don't really need the explanation really to any extent. But it still has that nice repetition.
I think also Kung Fu Panda 2 does it well because if you look at it, it's what the villain lacked exactly.
Love the contrast.
Yeah, so you have the contrast of the characters and one who manages to reach a certain state and one who cannot understand it.
One of my favorite little tropes to see is when the main hero and the main villain have similar or the same backstories.
Yeah.
Because you have that genuine sympathy for what they went through and the genuine condemnation of what the villain turned into because you still could have been a hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those do good sads.
Okay, so those are some examples of just sad in movies.
Should we just do a little beat on tragedy?
Yeah, how long have we talked?
I have no idea. I checked my phone at the start of this to know the time, and I didn't actually, read the time.
Okay. We have talked for 50 minutes.
Okay. You go, girl. Tragedies. Let's go.
Tragedies. Okay, so there are different types of tragedies, obviously. You have, the Shakespearean tragedy. You have...
My ice is loud.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But it's sometimes funny looking at them and being like, okay, so what makes one different from the other?
Yeah, if one feels bad, you don't like it, and you like one, what's the difference?
What's a level of sad that's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are definitely movies. Okay, so let's take Arrival, for example. Right? I
Sure.
would not call that a tragedy.
No, I mean, it ends... Well, I guess it ends happy-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy-ish. So we're going to spoil this for you.
Yeah, very spoiled. Jump off if you don't want to hear it.
Arrival-
You should watch it, though.
Yes, Arrival is a great movie. I really like it. It's very funny and interesting. And it's exploring the concept of how learning a different language can
Yeah,
kind of change your perception of the world, right?
The little, like... I guess... I don't know what to call it because it's a theory, but I feel like most people don't believe
It's
it.
a theory about languages.
The fact that to become truly fluent in another language is to rewire your brain because
Yes.
how people think is based on the language that they speak.
Yeah.
So what if you learned a language that was not human?
Yeah, so they pushed it to learning the language of extraterrestrial, right? An alien. And it changes their perception of time.
Because
And so that's
they
the-
don't speak and perceive time
Yes.
the same way we do.
So it has a girl kind of learn the language, and she's just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. She sees time differently.
Yeah.
She lives differently.
Yeah, once she's fluent in the language, she no longer has linear memory.
Yeah, she experiences memories from like the future.
Yeah, but
and-
because she no longer has linear memory and can remember anything from anywhere in her life, she realizes that she actually has had this always, but didn't understand it. So she had started the movie very, like, depressed, and she has memories of her daughter dying, who hasn't been born yet. So that's revealed later, where you thought that she just had a dead daughter, and it was like, oh, the kid hasn't been born
the kids
yet.
from the future.
So, like, yeah, her memory's all jumbled up.
And you have at the end of the movie, she still decides to marry the man who will leave her after her daughter gets cancer, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and dies.
I don't think it's cancer, it's something else, but something deadly.
Some disease.
Yeah. So
So-
she chooses to do the same life,
So
to
the
still
arc-
meet her
yes.
daughter.
The arc of the movie is a success, right? She successfully
She deals with the threat
deals
of China.
with the threat of China and the aliens and the confusion of the whole situation completely well. However, the movie ends with her deciding
to do something inherently tragic.
to do something inherently tragic. She knows the future. She knows her daughter will die, and she knows that her husband will leave her afterwards.
And she
Once he
thinks
finds
it's worth
out
it.
that she knew the whole time.
Yep. Yeah, because he leaves her over. I like to think that he comes back later because it doesn't explicitly say he doesn't, and I like to believe in the character. I like him.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't mind that.
it is the fact that she tells him that she knew from the start.
Yeah.
And she tells him before the kid gets sick.
Yeah.
That she knows and has known that the girl's going to die.
Yeah. So you have that type of sad, where I would call that extremely bittersweet.
Yep.
Where you have she's choosing to live with these people and to love these people regardless of the fact that she knows it will not end well.
Yeah, I think that is a big part of a good tragedy, is there has to be something worth it.
Yeah, there has to be something worth it.
And it can be really small. Like you brought up the road. The
Oh, yeah.
idea of just hope.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that there is something, you might not see it, you might never see it, and you're never going to see it in your life, but there is something about life worth living.
Yeah, so there's the tragedy of the road, which, so like I said, Arrival I would not classify as a tragedy.
Yeah, but it has very tragic elements.
For her, I think it's kind of a tragic ending in different ways. The road, spoiler once again. I like to spoil.
We did this
apparently.
last episode, though.
Oh, then we're fine. I already spoiled it. He dies. The main character is the father of the son, and he dies at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole story is them surviving in this wasteland. And, like you said, there's this something that's worth surviving for. So it's definitely a tragedy in the sense that the main character dies.
Well, yeah, and that the fact that there's not going to be a happy ending.
And that there's not going to be a happening. There's no way
There
it
is-
ends well.
While there is hope that there's value in life, there isn't actually hope for, like, a stable future.
No.
None at all.
You don't know if anything is ever going to be fixed.
Yeah.
But you do have the truth that there is something still worth living for. So I do agree that, like, something about tragedy, it's like, okay, there has to be a sweetness. It can't be pure
Yeah.
bitter. However,
King Lear.
sometimes... Oh, King Lear.
Just a shout out to that one in the idea of tragedies that can be completely sad and still have that something that makes it worth it. Don't make that face. I took a class at Hillsdale where my teacher's commentary was his read on King Lear, and I really liked this, was that the message was the reward for living well is having lived well, and the punishment for living badly is having lived badly.
Because they both reach the same end.
Yeah, so the idea that death is just inevitable, and honestly hardly even tragic. It's just the end. Like, everyone is ending in death.
Honestly,
we all
the
do.
end feels very like...
100% of us end in death.
What?
If you didn't know, spoiler.
Spoiler for your own life.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, gonna be buried in dirt, probably.
Yeah, all of this technology and freezing your head in different substances, not gonna work.
We're all think our audience is gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, I know, they're not rich enough. What did they freeze their head in? Like liquid nitrogen? Anywho, you're gonna die. So, barring the afterlife, what is the reward for good people? What is the punishment for bad people? And it's the fact that life was worth living when you lived well, and awful when you lived badly. And it wasn't that you were physically punished. It was just you had a worse life. You were a...
I'm just thinking
you lived...
King Lear.
Yeah, the King Lear is you lived badly. You lived like a horrible person, and that was your punishment. Being awful was your punishment, and being good was your reward. And so, while it's very tragic and there's lots of madness and injury and everybody dies except some bad guys, I actually don't remember who the remaining cast is by the end.
Edgar?
Yeah, so one good guy's fine?
I always mix up Edgar and Edmund.
I think Edmund's evil, but I'm not sure. I feel like the sisters are still alive, the evil sisters.
No,
they're
they
not?
both die. Goneril and Reagan are both dead.
Anywho, everyone dies, but you don't end it being like, what was the freaking point, or just feeling like bogged down and gross. Because sometimes you read tragedies and you're just like...
There are definitely some different theories about how to interpret King
Oh
Lear.
yeah, this is not the only interpretation. However, you can read it, and it's not purely darkness.
There are lessons in it. So that's actually one of the other things I was going to say. Even if you don't take that specific interpretation, and you look at different things. We talked about like apocalyptic fiction or dystopian at some other point. And you have 1984, you have Brave New World. It's like, okay,
the endings are very tragic.
Yes, it's extremely tragic. But the point of the book was the messaging and like the ideas.
Some punk asked me if I thought that 1984 had a happy ending.
It's terrible.
I was like,
did they read the book?
How do you read that? And like,
did they read the book? So here's the thing. I still think they're worth reading. Mm-hmm. I'd call them good tragedies. Because I don't think the point was to teach you something. It wasn't just, entertainment value.
It wasn't just have fun.
So it's like King Lear, some of the other Shakespeares where you're like, okay, so there's something to learn from this.
Tragic with lessons.
Tragic with lessons. So you have like Anna Karenina, right? You have that sort of thing where it's a warning tale, a cautionary tale. But so there's that type where it's like, it doesn't necessarily need the like...
Oh, you got a couple bad examples for us?
Slight sweet. Bad examples? Yeah, okay. So I read The Sound and the Fury.
Bad sad.
Bad sad. So that's Faulkner. Obviously extremely famous. So I might be doing a hot take here. But I read The Sound and the Fury last semester in one of my classes at Hillsdale. But I also read The Long Day's Journey into Night by Eugene O'Neill, who's like an American playwright. They both are extremely tragic tales. But one of them I found very beautiful, and the other I found very just depressing and unpleasant. So it was very strange for me trying to realize, like, okay, so what is the actual
so what makes the bad sad?
Faulkner, I think it was just too bad. Where for one, he does all these interesting things with his narration, where he's like kind of exploring different ways to tell a story. He has the different, like... He's just very his character's thoughts.
Right from a clinical retard, right?
Yes, he does. That's one section of the book. And then the other section is...
A suicidal gay man.
A suicidal gay guy. He commits suicide at the end. But he's like...
Naturally.
It's very like stream of consciousness kind of thing, which I'm not a big fan of, especially if it's not actually comprehensible. You know,
Yeah.
if you need a study packet to understand what's going on, I feel like there's a slight issue. There's a
Okay,
reason they didn't
But other than
do well.
not liking stream of consciousness, what is actually
Yeah, so other than that, it's
bad
like, okay,
about the tragedy?
what is bad about this tragedy? And I think it wasn't the fact that it was sad. It was, for one, the messaging, which I just did not agree with, where the whole story, the plot, is just telling you, comparing these different characters, telling you certain things that I don't stand by necessarily. But I think it was just too down in the muck. Whereas, like, there were moments even when he wrote well, where I'm like, oh, look, there's a really good
I
author
just feel
in
like
there.
some tragedies are like a really dramatic painting of something awful, and then some are just vomit.
Right? So it's like, okay, I would call it kind of a dramatic painting.
Mm-hmm.
And it made probably much more of an impressionist, abstract painting, but a dramatic painting. And you're just looking at it and you're like, it's just muck. So there's not really lessons that I agree with. I'm not, like, what am I gaining from this? Does this lead me anywhere?
What was the point?
What was the point?
Why'd
That's
we-
just the
why'd we
question.
write
It's like,
this
why
exactly?
did I experience this thing?
Yeah, why'd we write it? Why'd you read it? Like, what was-
A genuine question where it's like, so I read it because we were studying literature,
you
but
know, broader you.
I know, but it's just when you end the book and you're like, what did that give me? And it gave you nothing but muck. I don't think it's a good tragedy. And that might be, obvious. But so you have 1984 where it's
So-
like, there's something there to be gained.
Yeah, when something has no lessons, no hope, no nothing.
If you finish a book and you feel kind of dirty,
Yeah.
it was a bad book.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean badly written.
And I don't mean like self-reflective dirty, like it's
But
just
it's like,
like
okay, if
you get
I'm
off
on a
it and you're like, now I'm going to just feel awful for a week.
Yeah, no, and there was definitely some Cormac McCarthy I've read because I also did a class in that where it felt the same way, where it's like, I feel like I'm down in the muck
Yeah,
here.
I will also say that it is very palpable when something just hates God.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes it's very easy to be like, there's my citation, that line exactly. Do you see what it? But you don't even need that. You eat something and it's like, oh,
You ate it and it was moldy. And you're just like,
that hates God.
it got that sour
And there are
taste.
definitely some things like that and some tragedies like that all they're really doing is like trying to blaspheme.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm going to take a family of people that are in the image of God. These are God's creatures because I can't really, not everybody can, do this to real people. So they take the image of God in their book and they make it as gross as they can. And they make it as dead as they can. And they just hate God.
Is like, so it's not like these weren't real characters. It was in no way the like lazy writing kind of thing. He was obviously exploring different ways of writing, which I did not love. But it was not
that's
lazy
different
writing.
than lazy.
It was not lazy writing at all. Some of the characters were very real. It was like, why do I want to spend any time with this family? It's like, okay, so you pick and choose your friends carefully because you become more like them. It's like, you're spending hundreds of pages. A lot of time, actually, just in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that will also hate you. So that was just like a bad tragedy. But the weird thing was comparing it to Eugene O'Neill, where it was also very sad. But for one, just reading the preface of the book, where he talked about his gratitude to his wife for getting him away from this, it was very autobiographical. And Long Day's Journey into Night, if I didn't say the title. It was about his family and about kind of his love for them, actually, and the way that he had to accept and move on from his past. It was a very different thing. I think reading the preface really helped the book not hit as poorly. For one, it was beautiful writing. So there's that. But that doesn't redeem necessarily a tragedy if it's too dark. But it just felt like an accurate portrayal of a broken family, but there was this sense of wanting something better.
Yeah. Rather than raging, it's lost.
Yes. It was like, even in this brokenness, and they didn't specifically say, like, this is terrible, or it just shows this broken family. You just feel actually love for different characters, even in their lowest points. And I think that was just a big thing where you're like, okay, he wants he didn't let it be published, I think, until he died, because it was very, very personal.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want his family reading it.
Valid.
Because it was just about them. But it was just a strange sentence. I would recommend it, actually, because I thought the writing was beautiful. But it was definitely a weird read to try to pinpoint, like, the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think part of it is just the difference between lying in the muck and seeing the muck and wanting more.
Yeah. There's this kind of striving for
Yeah.
something else, even when you're stuck.
Even the characters in it were
Versus
striving for something
people
else.
wallowing.
Yeah, because it's like even the characters who were absolutely broken were trying to fix it in the story. They were just failing,
Mm-hmm.
which is not the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked one. I did not like the other at
Well,
all.
also the difference between those two sometimes, the striving versus wallowing as a consumer, is how it affects how you perceive other people. Because books can be a good way of learning correct empathy.
Yeah.
Because incorrect empathy, which is still a good starting point, is when you go, how would I feel if I were in that situation? Because here's the thing, they don't feel like you because they're not you. So it's a good starting point.
Versus
but
being
it's,
like, how did they feel?
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's not always as accurate as how did they feel. But how did they feel requires some knowledge of the other person. So books can really help you understand the circumstances, the minds, and the feelings of other people.
I think that's a good point.
And if you're reading the wallowers, it kind of makes you resent other people.
Yeah, you're looking at it and you're like, you're not even trying.
You're disgusting. It does not build positive empathy versus the striving, where it makes you actually more correctly empathetic
gives you
towards
real
people
pity.
who are in much worse situations than you are.
Yeah. It gives you pity, but not the type that accepts their problems.
Mhm.
The type
Not
that
the blind
hopes-
empathy.
Yeah, it wants them to succeed.
Yeah, the correct empathy.
But yeah, tragedy. It's all the sads. All the ways
You
to
know
be
what
sad.
another good sad is?
What?
The Wind Rises.
You should watch
Okay,
it.
we chose to watch The Wind Rises off of the cover without reading the description. And
I don't want to spoil it because they should also watch
I
it.
don't advise doing that. I will say the theme,
Okay.
and it is life is worth living.
Yeah, we like
That-
that.
that
theme.
is it.
Turns out.
Miyazaki has stated in
It's
particular.
a Ghibli. It's Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, it's a Studio Ghibli. Miyazaki has stated multiple times that the goal of his creation is to teach children, and this one's a little older, but to teach children that life is hard and it's still worth living.
I would call that a beautiful tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's tragic.
It's tragic, but it is very much that bittersweet thing of it was worth it.
Yeah.
I would do it again. I believe the way they deliver the theme is very funny. It's this dream, and the little Japanese boy who wants to become an airplane engineer is talking to this Italian airplane engineer. And you're like, is it a fantasy element where they're sharing a dream, or is he just making this up? You don't really know.
Yeah.
But it's still this moment where they talk about the theme. And the Italian goes, what would you choose, a world with pyramids or without? And the idea is that beautiful things will be used for evil in this fallen world. But would you still...
Or be created by evil.
But would you still choose a beautiful world?
Yeah. it's a
And
fun
so
theme.
I recommend... You will know that it's sad.
A+.
We didn't know that it was going to be sad.
It's sad.
But it is beautiful. So, anywho, the right types of sad.
Yeah, fare thee well.
Peace out.